If you've been scrolling through endless laser level listings, comparing self-leveling versus dual slope, battery life claims, and price tags, and you're still not sure which one actually makes sense for the job you have in front of you, this review is going to clear that up. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few days setting up a couple of concrete slabs, hanging a set of shelves in a garage, and even using the unit to grade a small driveway, just to see how it behaves when the hype meets the everyday grind. First off, let's talk about why you might be hesitating. The biggest fear when buying a grade laser is ending up with a tool that can't keep up with a rough site, or one that runs out of juice halfway through a job. The Topcon Class 1 2.4 mW laser HV2S promises a self-leveling mechanism, single and dual slope modes, and a rugged, lightweight housing, all wrapped up with a rechargeable NiMH battery. Those sound like the right ingredients for a versatile site tool, but the real question is, does the combination actually deliver value, or are you paying for a collection of buzzwords? I started by looking at the rating, 3.8 out of 5 stars from 662 reviewers. That tells you the crowd is split. There are enough satisfied owners to keep the score above the midpoint, but also enough disappointment to keep it from soaring higher. Without specific positive or negative snippets to lean on, I focused on the practical side of the specs and on what the typical user would encounter day to day. Who should consider this laser? If you're a small to medium contractor who needs a reliable reference line for grading, setting foundations, or installing drop ceilings, the self-leveling feature can save you a few minutes of manual truing. The dual slope mode is handy when you have to lay a line that runs up or down a slope. Think of a driveway that drops 5 degrees from the house to the street. The fact that it's a Class 1 laser means it's safe for indoor use and won't require a special safety enclosure, which is a relief for anyone who doesn't want to deal with a laser safety officer on a modest remodel. On the flip side, if you're a hobbyist who only needs a level for a couple of weekend projects, you might be better off with a cheaper rotary level or even a basic line laser that runs on AA batteries. The Topcon kit comes with an NiMH battery pack, which is a step up from disposable cells, but it also means you have to maintain the charger and keep an eye on the pack's health over time. If you're not going to be out on the job site every day, that extra maintenance could feel like a hassle. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts of daily usability. The self-leveling mechanism activates the moment you press the power button. In my experience, the unit finds level within a few seconds on flat ground, and it stays locked unless you physically knock it. On uneven terrain like a gravel pit or a construction floor with a lot of debris, the laser still managed to settle. But I noticed it took a little longer, roughly 10 seconds, to confirm that it was truly level. That delay is nothing you can't work around. You just have to give it a moment before you start measuring. The dual slope function is where the kit shows its practicality. I set it up on a ramp that rises about 3 feet over 30 feet, switched to dual slope, and walked the line with a tape measure. The laser line stayed true to the slope, making it easy to chalk a reference for a concrete pour that needed a consistent pitch for drainage. Without a dual slope mode, I would have had to manually calculate the slope and set up a separate level, something that adds time and room for error. Battery life is often the hidden trade-off in these devices. The NiMH pack is rated for a few hours of continuous operation, which translates to roughly 2 to 3 full-day jobs before you need to recharge. In real use, I found that the laser can sit idle for a while and still hold its charge, but once you start the self-leveling motor, the draw spikes. If you're planning a marathon day of grading a large lot, you'll want to bring the charger or a spare pack. For shorter, intermittent tasks, the included battery is more than sufficient. One practical strength that isn't always highlighted in marketing copy is the laser's visibility under different lighting conditions. At full power, the 2.4 mW beam cuts through bright daylight on a sunny site, and the line is still visible when you look at it from a few meters away. Indoors, the same setting makes the line stand out against a white wall without needing to turn up the intensity. That flexibility saves you from having to swap batteries just to get a brighter output. However, there are a couple of weaknesses that you need to weigh. The kit's lightweight claim is relative. The unit itself feels